Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Wandering Road podcast. I'm your host Chris, alongside my co-host Dean, and joining us today are Tiffany and Olivia from the Haunted AF Paranormal Investigation Group. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Why don't we just jump right into it? Why don't you tell the listeners what Haunted AF is, how you guys got started?
Okay, so there are about 9 of us in our group. We started off with just 4 of us, Olivia, myself, and our friends Taylor and Trista, just investigating on our own. One of the first places that we investigated really was probably Wilson Castle. Yeah, that's where I first started.
Yeah, that was mine was the Conjuring House.
Yeah, yes. So we started off and we loved it so much, we figured we'd probably do really well with a business. So we made a business out of it. We do paranormal events where people can come and investigate. They use all of our equipment. You know, we usually have dinner and they get unlimited investigation time and these really cool historic haunted locations. But we still do it on our own as well. We've been doing this probably 3 or 4 or 5
or 6.
5 or 6 maybe years.
Yeah. Like really investigating.
Yeah. So we've been doing that. We have our own business out of it where we take people around. We have an investigation coming up tomorrow that we'll be doing. So during the summer, pretty much
every weekend. And we do a lot of like youth groups too with different schools. We do a lot in Vermont because we investigate Wilson Castle a lot. So we did a youth group just a couple weeks ago with a school, about 20 kids I think we had. Yeah. We actually went to their school the night before and did like a mini investigation, and then they came to Wilson Castle the next night and we did like a 5-hour investigation with them. We have another group of like 30 kids next month. Those are fun. It's been a lot of fun. We have a great time. It gives us all a chance to travel together and do what we all really love.
See, that's the key. I love that right there. Because like when you guys were describing it, you were trying to figure out how long you've been doing it. And Chris and I are in the same boat. Like, we've been doing this for how many? It's been like a year. No, it's been 2 years. That's a good sign. It means it flies by. The other thing you mentioned, which blows my mind, is you guys get to go to schools and talk to kids about this sort of thing. And like, just kind of expand their mind and like the kids who might be interested in. If I go back to like when I grew up, if somebody like you guys showed up to my school, it would be like, get the fuck out of here. Like, like, what are you talking about? Imagine all the kids we were younger. We were so interested in this stuff and there was no outlet. And now you guys have found a way to get in. That's awesome.
I think it's fun too. Cause like once the word kind of got out with us doing that up in Vermont, cause we're like 3 hours from like, Wilson Castle, but it's kind of our main location. It's like our second home. Once people found out, like we started getting calls, emails about going to libraries, about doing investigations at some of these kids like haunted schools. So it really went from there.
I might be jumping ahead right now, but if you guys are going into an investigation, what's the preparation for that? Like, let's start with the example of like the school stuff, like the library and whatnot. Like, what would you guys do to prepare? Like, would you have to do background research? Would you have to do interviews? Like, or would you kind of just go in guns blazing, so to speak, and just see what you can get?
So we always try to be very respectful of what the owners tell us as far as the location. We really try to stick with that and not make our own story, so to say. A lot of it's being respectful to the owners and to the spirits that, possibly, are still there, but it's really the owners and in respect to the place. Try to go by, their history, but we also do our own history. We have Ricky and Taylor in our group that love everything history and they will go down rabbit holes, but it's really fun because we've gotten so much information on locations that even the owners didn't know about. And there it is. We have the proof, in an archive from 1892.
Yeah, so that's my thing, going into a deep dive. And I think that's really cool.
That you need that in this sort of thing, I think. Like Chris and I found that having him and like having that historical perspective just adds so much flavor to the direction of it.
100% does. And it helps a lot when you're investigating too, because you'll go back and there are some times where we'll go into a location and we're like, we don't want to know the history until after.
Right.
Because we want to see what we get and then see if that correlates with the history. And it kind of makes it more fun. So we will do that too.
Yeah, that's actually
Yeah, that
really
makes sense.
awesome. So let's pull it back a little bit. Tiffany, I'll start with you. What got you into the paranormal? We don't just randomly get into these things. There's always, let's say, gateway that pulls us in.
I think for me, when I was pretty young, I had a few minor paranormal things happen. There was a point where I was probably 7 or 8 years old, and I woke up and swore I saw a man standing at the edge of my bed. And then from there, it was ghost hunters. I started watching ghost hunters when I was a really young kid, and I was obsessed with it, and I thought it was awesome. And then, like, from there, like, ghost adventures and more paranormal shows came out. But it's always just been something, it's the unknown, and it's really cool to try to figure it out.
For me, I grew up in a severely haunted house.
Oh,
And I
that's
wish yeah.
awesome.
It's awesome now because it gives me material to talk about.
I truly believe, like, you don't, shit where you eat. I do not investigate my own house. I don't. I mean, we'll go out in the barn every once in a while, but I don't do my own house. It's not how it works.
Yeah, I've been so tempted to get like a
My daughter's bedroom to the bathroom without a buddy.
Yeah, because it's scary.
I've been so tempted to just get like a recorder just to put it down for like 12 hours at night
Don't even
and
need
just
your put your memos on your phone. If you have an iPhone or Samsung,
Yeah.
whatever, your voice memos on, and that works just as well as a recorder, if not better.
Man, I'm so tempted.
Yep.
I know if I do that, I can't tell my wife I'm doing it because she'll just freak out. Olivia, coming to you, what was kind of like your gateway entry to the paranormal? What got you into all this weird shit along with us?
My grandparents bought a farmhouse in Prince Edward Island, Canada, when I was younger. An old farmhouse. They moved it from one part of the island to the other, and it was as haunted could be. From dishes flying to water turning on and off. We would watch knobs like completely turn, doors open. I was just always interested in it. I wanted to know more.
What would you guys say in your what sticks out the most? I know you gave the one of waking up and seeing the figure. You could talk maybe about what do you think that was? Did you ever like really revisit that to any degree and really assess that? Are there any other things that pop into your mind that are just specifically like, wow, that's like out of all the experiences you had early on, like this is a 10?
Early experiences, I think that one kind of trumps all. That one was very terrifying for me, and to be honest, for a long time I tried to block that specific moment in my life out. As I got a little older, my friends and I started playing with like Ouija boards, and we'd stay the night at her house, and there'd be scratching on the wall or knocking on the wall or creaking doors. Nothing super huge, I guess, but still enough to make a 12-year-old absolutely lose their mind.
Chris's favorite there, the Ouija board. We've talked about that a million times on this, about how he loves and hates it so much.
Yeah.
We used to make our own out of like cardboard.
Nice.
Yeah.
No fear. I like it. Let's jump into your investigative efforts. And what was the home you mentioned that you guys frequently visit? Was it the Wilson Castle?
Castle in Proctor, Vermont.
What's the lore behind Wilson Castle, and what did you guys encounter there?
Oh, well, you talk about Wilson.
Well, you're the one that originally got us into Wilson.
Yeah.
Didn't you? You did an investigation there with like ghost hunts or something.
Some company or whatever. And that was the first time I had done like a public investigation thing there. And then I was like, hold on a second, you can rent this on your own. You don't have to go through someone. And then it was just downhill from there. I think we've been, I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you how many
times. Yeah.
Yeah.
So many times.
Yeah. And they're like family to us there. And the place is just 1885.
Amazing.
Absolutely beautiful, built by a doctor. And it's kind of like a little bit of a, what do you call it, story. not gossipy, what would be the word?
Scandalous.
A scandalous story from back in, well, they just found out a bunch more history, though.
And I still don't even know all of that yet. I know like the original story that we knew for years, and now they've got more information that's come to them.
Yeah, and Mrs. Johnson of the castle there
wasn't innocent.
Yeah, she wasn't so innocent. So
they built the castle with her daddy's money, and then supposedly her husband,
he was actually like a homeopathic doctor or a holistic doctor.
Yes.
Called himself Dr. Johnson, but her family said he's not a real doctor. And then it was made to believe as though the parents stopped paying the bills and he up and left and left his family and left this. Well, come to find out, it was never the case. She actually bought him. He was married with a family and she wanted him. So for $100,000 back in the 1890s, she got herself a husband.
Yeah.
She bought him. She bought him. She bought a husband. That's new to me.
$100,000 back in the 1890s too.
Yeah. Definitely.
I must be on another level because I feel like my wife could have got me with like a handful of nuts and like like a soda. Like, here you go.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
That's good.
But yeah, it's a really beautiful building, and on top of that, there's never a time where there's no paranormal activity. Like
ever.
We host so many events there because we know we're going to bring these people in, and there's going to be something. We've had growls right in our ears are coming from closets. We've had shadow figures. We've had knocks, bangs,
we had
voices.
The flashlight go right off the table.
Yeah.
What's the state of it? Is it owned by anybody? Is there anyone living in it, or is it completely just a historical site? Like, what's the deal?
It is owned. It still has, from the woman that owns it, it was her grandfather, Colonel Wilson, that bought it in the 1960s. Been in her family since, but it still has. So her grandfather was high up in society. So there's artifacts from like the Chinese dynasty. There's stuff from the 1500s. Like, it is beautiful. When you go in there and they say, this is yours for the night, they say, treat it like home. We want you to treat it like home. They don't want you to tiptoe around, they want you to feel like you're at home there, which is absolutely amazing. And if you saw this, you would understand why we love it so much.
And Denise, she doesn't live in it currently, but there's been like points where
she has stayed in the old staff quarters, what would have been the staff quarters.
Yeah. All the money that they get they do like day tours there, and then like anyone who books the paranormal stuff with them, all of that money goes right back into restoring the place. So they've done over the past few years so much work there, fixed leaky ceilings and bricks. It's built with bricks from Italy that weren't meant to withstand New England winters. Weather. So they've deteriorated, and so they take that money and put it right back into the castle to keep it up, basically.
So what makes that location a prime paranormal space? Like, something terrible happened there that caused the hauntings? What evidence did you capture? Was there something that really stood out to you that's like, okay, we need to come back here because we need to get more evidence?
For one, like super direct communication.
Yeah.
I think.
With any of our devices, really.
Yeah. Super direct. I remember my first visit there with Olivia, we asked, what room should we go to? And right away, like so loud and clear, it said the ballroom. And there's on the 3rd floor, a big ballroom. So obviously we're like, we're going up to the ballroom. But just super direct communication. I don't think I know Sarah Lost, who was the original builder of the place. She lost a baby, right? They lost a baby, but I don't know of any other.
Richard.
Oh, the guy that had the heart attack. There was a man there that
had the heart attack. I don't think the hauntings are a lot to do with necessarily tragedy there or passings. I think it's more a lot of residual, but there is a lot of intelligent. But I think it was such a happy place for so many families that that's where they chose to go back. That's honestly what I think.
So.
most locations you go to, paranormal investigators go to, it's usually like an asylum or somewhere that has a lot of negative connotation. This is why I like doing this show, because 99% of the time we get all the negative stuff. But on occasion, like with y'all tonight, we get a happy story. Like this was a place filled with happiness and joy, and a lot of families were happy there. One thing that, Olivia, that you mentioned, that it's a castle and it was owned by affluent people, and I'm assuming the people that still own it have a lot of money, that it's filled with artifacts from
Yes.
previous time periods. So while you're doing your investigations, you may be picking up on energy from those artifacts from like maybe the 1500s or these different time periods.
Yeah, definitely. Because a lot of like the stuff too, there's still a lot from Denise's mother that was in there, because Denise, that owner now, I mean, her family lived there. Because when her grandfather bought it, I don't know if they just started doing tours right away or if they waited, but I mean, they lived there as a family in the servants' quarters that are still there. But yeah, they lived like anyone else would, just in a big 1885 castle.
This is nuts too. For anyone listening, I recommend searching for it on Google or something. I just typed in Haunted Wilson Castle, and I got the website, which, like you were saying, like, they have regular tours and whatnot, or if you're interested in like getting a wedding or having a wedding there. But then they have a little tab for paranormal tours. The drone shots are amazing. I swear, like, probably wrong, but I could have sworn like this looks familiar to me. Like this was like parts of this were in a movie at some point, but maybe that's just because it's got like that air to it. Are you guys tracking that? Anything like that? Like, has any film ever been done there? Do you know?
I'm trying to think of, but I don't know what movie. I don't think it was anything too big.
Yeah.
I don't think anything huge. But no, a lot of people I've seen, like on TikToks when we've posted like videos of the outside, or they're like, oh, it kind of looks like the new American Horror Story house, and I'm not sure which.
Oh, okay.
I've seen-
Maybe.
I mean, it has been on. I don't know if you guys watch any of like the YouTubers, like the Sam and Colby or any of them. I know they've done it a lot.
It's still beautiful. It's clearly antiquated and a little bit dilapidated, but it's still something to look at, especially the inside. But it's funny because you're looking at one shot from one corner and it's all forest and it's terrifying. And then you switch sides and it's like residential, beautiful hillsides, like, solar panels. And I'm like, okay, it's a balance.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It is.
I actually see there are some, you were talking about artifacts that are still in there. I can't get a good bead on some of the stuff. Looks like some old books. I mean, there might be even like a crib in there or something. The window frames look original. The windows themselves look kind of newer.
Stained glass that you see in there, that's all original.
Each one has like a story.
I want to say there's like 108. There's like a crazy amount of the stained glass in there, the different things. Yeah, and they all have a story and a meaning. It's pretty amazing.
It looks like it would be terrifying to be in at nighttime.
Yeah.
So, but now I kind of want to do it. I want to drag Chris to it. So maybe we'll do that.
The first thing
I'll do something like that.
fully
'Cause-
finished.
Okay.
The third floor is unfinished, and it's the spookiest part. I mean, you go up to the third floor. They don't let like day tours go up to the third floor, but they open it up for the paranormal investigations, and it is really creepy, like old ragged wood and bed frames.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. What's interesting to me is we're talking about like a lot of positive stories and energy in this location. But you did mention there were some growls in your ear. There were some terrifying-ish, things that happened there. So that's interesting. Like in my mind, I'm thinking, and this is me being a jackass, like a smartass, but it's like, oh, these rich people are still haunting the place, and they're a knife, but they're the type. They're like, oh, let's go hunt the locals, and we'll just give them a little fright, oh boo, and then into your ear. Did you get any feeling like it was a really negative energy when you had the growls, or was it kind of just like a normal feeling and you just heard stuff?
So you go up to the third floor, and I've always, for years now, called one specific room up there Mean Man Room, because every time we go in there, that's the room where I literally, in front of like 7 different guests we had a growl right in my ear, and I scurried across the floor like a cockroach. It's terrifying. So I've always called that Mean Man Room, and it doesn't seem like it's like a super, like, malevolent or anything like that. Just like a really grouchy, mean, cranky dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's the best
Who doesn't
way,
really like women.
No, not at all. Like,
so actually, I remember that first time when I went with the Ghost Adventures. It was the first time I actually cried. It was. You said we can say whatever we want, right? So.
Yep. No, we just talked about this recently about like what happens when you die, like what happens when someone dies and they're antiquated, they're not really modern in their thinking, they're even like racist or like sexist or whatever, but they still have to haunt, and they're like watching these young ladies of the night, like, oh, these young harlots, and they're anti-bustier, and he's just so pissed off that you guys aren't wearing like 5 layers of clothing. I think that,
one thing we noticed, and we will get immediate interaction. One time, I always say, Tiffany, all she wanted was for that REM pod to go off. That's all she begged for that thing. So it's like 7 a.m, and we've been up all night, and it's just me and Tiffany up there. And so she's like, I want to do like a little like role play thing. I want to pretend. And she's like, I want to pretend I'm one of the workers, because this would have been part of the servants' quarters. I want to pretend I'm one of the workers and that I'm like quitting. So she walks in the room and it's like, I quit that, this and that. Well, friggin' REM pod starts going off, and Tiffany's like, oh my God!
Wow.
But that is like, so she will do that like every time, and we will get reactions every time if she just starts acting like an asshole and saying she's quitting. And I quit my job. I think I have something with me, but I don't know if I want it to go away.
Might like the company. Yeah.
An action, man. We're pretty.
What is a REM pod? Really quickly, and what does it detect?
So it's just like a little device that detects electromagnetic field. And I think that's all it detects is like EMFs.
Okay.
So
and it just gives off signals or sounds or.
Yeah, it has antennas. So when something breaks that electromagnetic field, it will, depending on how close, it will do a different color, and it will make sound as well, so that something is breaking that field.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. How far away do you have to be from it so you don't accidentally set it off? Do you just put it in the room and kind of leave, or?
I mean, you have to really you'd have to go up to it,
like put your hand over
it. Over it.
Okay.
Go off.
Yeah, but it's loud enough that you can like put it in the next room over if you wanted to, and then just hear it go off.
Yeah.
But sticking to attachments, let's go down the creepy route a bit.
All right.
What location did your group investigate where there's something unsettling here?
We can go with the Shanley.
Yeah, probably the Shanley.
Yeah. We can talk about this. So this is where it gets real.
Yeah, the Shanley's got
which is not the Stanley in Colorado, but the Shanley in New York.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of negative energy there.
Now, is that a hotel or?
So it was, and now you can rent it out as for paranormal investigating the whole location, or like half of the location, but you wouldn't have anyone else with you. So it is available for private overnights.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that place is
it's insane.
Yeah, and nothing is really confirmed, but a lot of it I think is through like mediums.
Yeah.
Like supposedly there's a serial killer on the 3rd floor, and his name is Adam, and we've had some stuff with that, an attachment from Adam, the guy up on the 3rd floor who is supposedly a serial killer. Like for a while we'd go to investigations, and that's the only name that we would get was Adam, which is pretty frustrating, to be honest, because we couldn't get through to anyone else. Yeah.
But Adam is not friendly. I mean, you want to think of any derogatory word that you can possibly think of, that is what you will get.
Yeah.
Yeah. The worst of the worst is what will come through your spirit boxes and anything else.
They have set up in his room, they have a soccer ball, and we put a K2 meter on it, which is electromagnetic field, if you've ever seen it. You set it on top of the ball, and we've waited for hours and hours and hours, asked him to knock it over, and nothing. And then, you might try a little bit later. We've had it, how many times has it happened? Twice, where it's just, boom, the ball flies, the K2 goes flying. Yeah. So definitely he has some power, I'll say that.
If you recall, or if you're comfortable sharing some of the things that you captured from Adam with what he's said?
Oh God.
I mean, we get horror. You get horror a lot.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't matter where we are. We know he comes through because it'll say over and over again. It doesn't matter who's using.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
And like the thing is too, we won't tell people. Like we'll keep this like in our group, and because it's more so to see if it's going to come through. If we're not talking about it, if nobody knows that way, nobody can make this up. We'll keep this between us and have like guests at our events, and they're like, I keep getting the name Adam.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh crap.
Have you guys actually done any background into the serial killer himself? Like, what's his story?
I think they're basing it off of a gentleman that did stay there, that was, because there was something about, and I get that confused all the time, about the preacher's daughter that was murdered.
Okay, yeah.
You know
Yes,
what I'm talking about?
yes.
And wasn't it that guy that...
And what they
right,
say they think his real name is Emmanuel.
Emmanuel.
Yeah.
And so there is a confirmation of this guy named Emmanuel that did murder these people. He was at the Shanley, but they're kind of make like as if is it an like an ulterior,
alter ego.
alter ego.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But they're kind of still trying to figure it out too.
Yeah.
We can say
What we think.
we
Yeah.
can say the same story over 100 times, and it's almost like it starts to become true. And that in a sense is kind of can happen at locations too. When you say the same story over and over and over again, it can be truth.
Irrespective of like what the actual person was like or their name and stuff, but maybe the energy like takes the form of almost like we've talked about in the past, like tulpas. I don't know if you guys are familiar with tulpas, but it's like the idea that if enough people focus on some kind of concept or idea, that it could somehow materialize in some kind of way. That sounds to me like what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, the guy didn't have that name, and he wasn't, maybe this guy that they're thinking of wasn't a classical like a serial killer, but like there was still negative energy associated with somebody who was there, and maybe he took on the role of this concept of Adam serial killer, and it's the negativity that brought it out. That's fascinating. We don't talk to a lot of people who have ghost experiences like that.
Yeah, that's definitely been one time. I mean, it got so creepy that remember when we were in Murdoch Whitney or Isaac Morse house, and he started coming through, but next thing you know, whoever was under Estes, they don't know what we're asking for questions. Whoever has the headphones on and has the spirit box on, and we do use noise canceling like Vic Firth headphones so you can't hear. We'll ask questions, and then if anything comes through the spirit box, whoever has that on will say it out loud. Well, we start asking questions, and they start naming these dates and this and that. Well, it was the date for my birthday that was at the Shanley Hotel. Yeah. And it was really, I had goosebumps on that
it
one.
literally like counted down the number of days.
It counted down the number of days, but then also said the number of people.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know the number of people, and it ended up being that exact amount that we were told that night. So there's intelligence there. No matter what, there is definitely intelligence.
Oh, for sure.
Has that entity or spirit, Adam, ever gotten physical with any one of your crew members there, or was it just...
We got scratched on our necks.
Oh, yeah, you and...
Me
that's
and
right.
Trista.
Ricky got scratched, too, when we went to Burnbrae Mansion. We have... Oh, that Estes was crazy. We went to... Burnbrae is in... New York. Oh, geez, excuse me. So we have actually a YouTube video up on our channel of it, and I can't even, it's hard to describe. It was just absolutely insane. We put Ricky under the Estes method in this hidden room closet that had only been found like
a few years prior.
In this huge mansion. I mean, he's blindfolded, he's got headphones on, and he's looking at people and speaking to them. It was the weirdest thing, and that was definitely like an Adam interaction, but at the end of that video, our cameraman, Chris, is recording, and all of a sudden, Ricky jumps and throws off his headphones, and he's like, oh, you scared me when you touched me, I think he said to Taylor.
Yeah.
Nobody touched him.
Nobody was near him.
And he was like, he didn't even think twice about it. He thought someone, tapped him to get his attention.
To get him out of the Estes.
And he went back under for a while, And then I don't know how much longer, but throws off the headphones again. He's like, something scratched me. And he does have a scratch on the back of his neck. Yeah. So I think the scratching definitely. I don't think I haven't had any of that from lucky me.
That's kind of terrifying.
Just for a second.
Yeah, just for a second.
Or like, as sick as that sounds, it's
Do
like,
it again.
it's like after you let the tears out, you're like, let's do it.
Yeah, right. That's some compelling evidence that you captured there. Not often do you see folks. There's so many paranormal investigating groups that not often do you see them like capture evidence of them actually getting touched or something quite as aggressive as Adam,
Yeah.
whatever that spirit is, whether it's a serial killer or something more nefarious than it's leading itself to be. But one thing I wanted to come back to was, Olivia, we mentioned attachments. You looked right at Tiffany and was like, oh, you had an attachment. Tiffany, why don't you share about that? And how did that happen? Where were you investigating? Did you agitate anything?
Well, I don't know if that was the time when we were at the castle and I was like, you can't scare me. You can't scare. I was being a dumbass, honestly, like wicked dumb. I wanted some like, real good action. After doing this for a while, like the little things don't impress you anymore. You know what I mean? You want bigger, bigger. So I don't know if that was that time or not, but I think it was shortly around that time.
I feel like it was because Sarah, because Hannah and Sarah were there. So yes, it was that time.
Yes,
because I thought Hannah screamed, so I didn't react.
Yeah, so I had been instigating a little bit, like, oh, you can't scare me. You can't do anything to scare me. And then at one point, I think you had asked me to go downstairs and get the computer, and I didn't have a flashlight, and I'm not typically like afraid. So I walk down the stairs, and I get to the room and I see it's pitch black and I see the computer sitting on the table and I go to grab it and I just stop. And to this day, I can't even describe the feeling. It just didn't feel right. The one thing I had on me, unfortunately, was an Ovilus, which, has like the dictionary and words will come through across the screen. I have the Ovilus. That's the only thing I have for light. It's pitch black. And I immediately start backing myself into a corner because it just feels like there's someone standing in front of me ready to like deck me in the face. And I'm staring at the Ovilus as I'm doing it, and I just knew something was going to come through. And I can't remember if it said devil or evil, but that in and of itself was enough to just make me crash out. I like threw myself backwards on the stairs, and I screamed for someone to come help me because I honestly, in the moment, felt like I was going to be like I said, like decked in the face or something. And nobody came to help me because they thought I was like, I don't know.
Great to know that your team will throw you under the bus. You're on your own. Bye. Scooby-Doo out of there.
And Hannah's like a little bitch when it comes to the paranormal, so I just thought it was for react.
But it was after that I got home and I started like using my spirit box more, and I kept getting this Italian sounding man's voice through, like direct communication. He said my name. Can't recall exactly what we talked about, but like had like small little conversations through the spirit box. And at the same time, for probably a month or so, things in my house were getting knocked over. I had a hat that flew off of a hook it was sitting on. I had a skeleton decoration that crashed down.
You sent me the footage for that.
Yeah, weird orbs flying around, and just one day it stopped. Like it was very short-lived.
We would put we would go out to your garage, like the garage, and put out like the cat balls and the K2 meters, and she would say like, go, if you're with me, go light up that K2 meter and red, and that thing would go just like whatever color she would say, go light up that cat ball. The cat ball would light up. Like it was definitely something she brought home.
And it's weird because I don't know where did it come from the castle?
Right.
Like, was it from, I have no idea, literally no clue, but it was right after that. So, I mean, who knows, honestly, but.
Terrifying. But
yeah, it was really fun.
I know what a spirit box is in general, and I know there are devices that are designed to either have words clearly stated coming out of them, or there's some kind of static where you could kind of like pull out a language or words being utilized or by the ghost or the spirit or whatever. So can you guys just briefly talk about how those work, what the goal, the intent is? And the thing that I'm most interested about is if you have like a box that says clear words, like how do they program it to have X number of words that can be repeated, or like how? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
as far
for the
as like the
Ovilus.
Ovilus and like any of those like IT devices, it's just like a giant dictionary essentially. Spirit box, that's just your their radio
frequency, and you scan through
Mm.
signals. You're scanning through super fast, so to get a continuous voice or like a sentence through that is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And you will get radio interference as well. We always try to be skeptical about things. So if it sounds like, an ad on the radio, we're not going to
Yeah.
call that out. We're like, okay, that was the radio.
Yeah.
It tends to be pretty obvious.
We're used to it more, but even having like guests that aren't, they'll say things and then we'll say, okay, that was probably, but we don't know because we also don't have it on when they're listening to it. So it's hard, but sometimes we'll feel like it's radio to us.
Yeah.
The boxes that give off sounds, I find that fascinating because like, so I'm a believer. Like I believe that there is something out there that people experience, and I try to be more on the questionable side. No, listen, man. I know. Here's the thing. I said it before, I'll say it again. Even though I come off as a more skeptical person, I am not in my mind a skeptic. I'm more of like a Socratic. I don't know anything, but I know there's a lot of ways to explain things. But those ways to explain things, that doesn't have to negate or cancel out what the mystery on the other the question is. So but what I really like to do is like I don't dismantle anything, but what I want to find out is the more technical side, because then I can go say, like in this situation now, like it seems really unlikely to me that if you have a little box that's programmed to say thousands of words, or like you were saying, like try to string together a sentence through static, it's extremely unlikely that the box is going to say anything to do with what you're investigating. Yet you've had those times where it says your name, it says something about the investigation, but you're talking like it could say, for all you know, could have just said blueberry sun, whatever, like ocean, like it, but it said something very specific.
Things like, okay, tell us how many of the living are in this room, and it counts out. How do you deny that? I mean, you can't.
Right. Yeah. Like it didn't even have to say a number. It could have said like, not only did it say the exact number, it said a number. I would be fascinated if you asked it to count and it would just say any number.
Well, one time I was actually at Wilson Castle, and this is actually a good one to say because none of us knew. So we had like our kids at the time, they're early, teenagers and stuff. This is when Cole. So we were in one of the kids' room at Wilson Castle, and Cole came in and he sits, and it says, "Cole, sit." And through the spirit box, and Cole looks about as white as a ghost. He sits down. What did it say? 8-ball.
Oh, yes, he had taken
and
that.
Friggin' Cole's face, literally his eyes, and he reaches in his pocket and pulls out the 8-ball from the pool table. It looked like he was gonna pass out. Yeah. But I mean, none of us even knew that he had that in his pocket. He didn't say anything. Like, we couldn't explain that. We couldn't.
Evidence like that just reinforce the notion that there's something
more in
more. I wanted to ask, what do you think it is? Clearly something is going on there, but like I'm not sure like where you align religiously or anything of that sort, but based off of your personal beliefs and your investigations, did you ever find yourself clashing with what you believe personally based off of the evidence that you've encountered?
I mean, I'm very religious.
And I'm the complete opposite.
She's not, but I don't take my religion and say this is without a doubt a fact. You know what I mean? Without getting too into that. I don't know. I honestly, I feel like I don't know what happens after we die, but we are 100% talking to people who have passed on.
Right.
I also kind of dabble in the fact that I think that maybe we could potentially be talking to even something different, like aliens. I know that might sound silly, but to some, but to
no, it's not. Honestly,
we don't have an answer until we die, and then we're not going to be able to tell anyone, and they're going to be in the same. It's just a constant.
Yeah. I mean, you don't know. I do believe that a lot of it is, the energy from people who have died. But then, like, what about the other aspects of it? People believe in, different types of spirits, your poltergeists and elementals and all these other things that are darker, demons. And I mean, who's to say really, but
I see where you're going with that, Chris. You're like, I think what you were really getting at on a deeper level, because we've talked to people like yourselves who have done investigations, and in my mind, it's split. Like half of them are saying, yeah, no, we're actually talking to the people who passed away, the actual people who are lingering for whatever reason. But then the other half kind of like gravitates more towards the idea that no, these are mimics. These, like you said, these are like poltergeists or demonic entities that aren't actually the people themselves. But it sounds like you are more in the camp that these are the actual people, which is totally cool. We like to get both perspectives. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, but that's kind of what you're getting towards, right? The religious question and like what's truly going on in these events.
The reason I asked that question, and Olivia, I'll pose that question to you as well. But the reason I asked that question is because for me, I'm a Catholic Christian and I have my set beliefs. But here I am having these types of conversations where other people in my faith would not entertain one bit.
Yeah.
And just even talking about this shakes their foundations to the core because it challenges everything that they believe in, the concept of, okay, there are set places we go when we die and that's it. Everything else is either demonic or something of that sort. But Olivia, I'll throw the same question at you. What are your thoughts?
Oh.
And let me say up front really quickly, we're in the same situation you guys are. He is Catholic Christian. I was raised Catholic, but I am firmly agnostic. I don't know what's going on.
He is now a heathen.
I'm a heathen. I think there's something, I just don't know what.
Okay, thank you. That's where I am. But I would never put down anyone else's belief. Belief absolutely. Like at all. I'm really trying to think about going in as far as I'm so like open-minded. I don't think it's ever I don't think it's ever
fluid
affect me. And I've never been the type that, and I've never been in a situation where I felt like I've actually in a location had to pray because there is something. Even does that make sense? Like
it does.
Anything
like that where I feel like I would have to, grab Tiffany to get him.
What's that thing you do with your hand again?
Exactly. Yes.
I love to play around with the idea too that you brought up about like we don't know what's going on, and we could even go like really far out and say like, what if these are like fifth dimensional children playing a prank on us? Like it's like it could be anything. Could be anything. Like there's no way to know.
I think my biggest thing is actually I asked you guys how you have any thoughts on it. When we go into a haunted location, do you think that everyone, like all those spirits, do you think they're from different time, like different realms or different time periods? Do you know what I mean?
Like
or
like a different universe type of thing, or
I don't know if I want to. Dr. Johnson, that's haunting the castle, and you have Colonel Wilson. That's also, we know both are.
If they're on the same, okay, I see.
Do they interact?
Same plane.
Yes.
Right.
Do they interact, or that is one thing I need to find the answer for.
No, I agree, and that's a hard one.
Yeah.
That is a good question, and
I think about a lot.
I think that they are on the same plane.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think of it like as a game, they're different power scales in the sense that some of them emit more energy, some of them require more energy to interact. Okay. Whereas, for example, like Adam, like if Adam was in that place with the other two and Adam's knocking shit over and kicking soccer balls and stuff, stronger energy coming from Adam. So I think it depends on the energy that the entity requires in order to interact. I think they're all on the same plane. But then again, they might not be, and that's why some of them require more energy and some of them could require less energy. For example, if you guys have watched the show A Haunting, that's like one of my favorite shows. There are like some stories where there'll be an evil entity, but then you'll have a positive entity keeping that thing at bay.
At bay, right. Yeah.
Yes.
I know, I feel like where have we seen? I know we've seen this at a location and I'm trying to think of where. Oh, I can't think.
Oh, you mean like a, okay.
It was almost like there was one person trying to keep other spirits just like quiet, wouldn't let them talk. And I can't think of where it was. I'll think of it in the middle of the night.
It wouldn't have been the Shanley, right?
No. Oh, we could do a whole nother podcast thing on stuff from the Shanley.
Right?
Brothel, it was fun.
Yeah.
It's really hard to say, only in my mind, because my best guess would be that it's like sleeping for us. You know, like they're not, I don't think that they're always there. And I think that would be a good reason, or a good reasoning why they don't always present themselves or interact. Because some people say like, oh, maybe they just don't want to interact. They know you're there. I think that's possible. But like Chris was saying, there has to be some degree of energy to do something. And that's the question, right? Like, where is the energy coming from? Why is the energy that was attached to them localizing in whatever being or force that they're occupying on the other side? That's like a whole scientific thing you could probably write papers on. But like in my mind, the quickest answer would be they have to rest and conserve energy. So it's almost like sleeping. And in that sense, and that's why I think it's so interesting that you guys bring up the idea that there are good energies and bad energies, and the good energies still see themselves as good. They hold on to that positive force, just like maybe like, I don't know if they have a choice like we do after that point, but we can, I don't know if I believe in free will in the sense that like free will is 100%. I think there's some, questionable attributes to free will for us. But when you get to the other side, I imagine free will is still there to a degree. And so to have a positive force hold on to that positivity and actively try to fight off the negative side to preserve goodness in the three-dimensional realm that we occupy, that's really crazy interesting. I mean, like, you don't see that every day.
So before you go into an investigation, is there a way that you mentally prepare, or for your team members that are religious, do they do anything beforehand for protection, or do y'all just go in?
I'm the only religious one left now.
Yeah.
So I don't do anything. And in my head, I always think that no matter what, I will be protected, and that's just kind of my way of thinking. And like we've never encountered anything like, demonic or anything like that. Yes, there's like negative things that we've experienced, but I just always feel in my mind that I'm protected. I don't really do anything. I don't pray. I don't have any rituals. I usually just go in and I'm ready to go.
It's always good to have that type of mentality, like, hey, I know what I'm getting into.
Yeah.
I know what I have on my side. Let's go ahead and do it. So that's awesome. The other question that I have is, you said that you take groups on these paranormal tours. Obviously, you'll encounter, hopefully not frequently, the asshole skeptic that is just a complete dickwad about everything. Like Dean, I'm kidding.
I'm like eating popcorn. Like, okay, well, let's get this over.
How do you handle that situation?
Well, we had the one woman that
at Burnbrae.
Yeah.
She was awful.
We were going to have her leave, but then her husband took her out. So
yeah,
we were fine. But she was trying to tell everybody that we were using our phones to control the flashlights.
And the cat balls and everything else.
Yeah. And then all she wanted to do was have some seance, and I'm pretty sure she hexed us in another language. I'm pretty sure at one point. Out of her mouth, I didn't understand a word. It was not English, and she had a Ouija board in her hand. I'm not lying.
Yeah.
Like, she was determined to have some seance, and she was that I want to say, like, we've had people that. So we've had people that come in as full-blown skeptics. Like, you need to show me something. And then I will say everyone,
pretty much all of them,
leave with thinking something different. Like, okay,
so cool.
Maybe they're not 100% a believer, but they're like, all right, I got to check this out again because something.
Gives them something to think about, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we've never had anyone that's really been
truly, besides that one girl.
Yeah.
It didn't help that she was drinking, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll do it.
And they were drinking it out of a Red Bull can. So.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Goodness.
That was a wild experience, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of wine to clean up on.
We've gotten very lucky.
Furniture.
Yeah. We've gotten super lucky.
We've had really good groups.
Yeah. Pretty much everyone is just like super respectful and open, and they respect the locations, they respect other people. Most of it has been that. So, and I'm sure our luck will run out at some point.
Yeah, you probably just jinxed us for this weekend.
No.
Now, this question just popped up in my head because this location is one of my favorite places to go, but I have not done a ghost tour yet. Do you have any plans to go to Gettysburg?
Oh, I would love to go to Gettysburg. We should.
Friggin' Jolly's gonna be there in a couple weeks.
Oh, what a bastard.
Yeah, we'd be down for a Gettysburg.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, we have the history of that, obviously. Like, there's no question about it.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. That's definitely on the list.
I've been to the battlefield at night, and I can 100% say that I got out the car, started to walk towards the stone wall on the Union side where Pickett's Charge happened. I stopped halfway to the wall, and I looked at my buddy, and I'm like, I'm not going much further than this. This feels uncomfortable. And so he's like, okay, yeah, let's get back in the car. And we're driving back to his place. And I said to him, did you feel like you were being watched? And he's like, yeah, I did. It felt really uncomfortable. The atmosphere was thick. And there's so many stories that come out of Gettysburg with like phantom soldiers being seen. I have yet to go to the Jenny Wade house. I've always been curious to go there.
Jenny Wade house too, and the Farnsworth
house?
Yeah,
Farnsworth house.
I want to do that too.
We should plan a road trip.
We did a road trip to Kansas last year. We had a really good time.
Last year or this year?
That was this year.
That was earlier. That was what, April?
We did 5 locations in 6 days.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Recommend.
Yeah. That sounds like an awesome time. But if y'all do go to Gettysburg, shoot me a message. I'm only 3 hours away from there. I would be more than happy to join in. Dean, fly your ass over here. We'll do this together. Yeah. I need skeptical support.
Too expensive.
Sure you can.
No, that would be.
You don't need skeptical support. You need a body to throw at the ghosts.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, exactly. You're all set.
There's been a lot of spin about the Annabelle doll lately. And I don't know what your guys' familiarity is. I don't know how closely you do research. I don't like go super deep into the stuff. I just notice it when it pops up. Yeah. But are you guys are you aware of like what's going, like somebody died apparently and like the doll disappeared? Like do you guys know a lot about that situation and the story?
I know every little bit, girl.
Yes, perfect.
Out of respect for Dan's family, it had nothing to do with the doll.
Right.
Had health concerns. People Magazine, TMZ, whatever, can say what they want. The Annabelle doll's a joke.
Okay. Fair enough. Yep.
That's my opinion. Everyone else has, different opinions, obviously. I'm not saying that I don't believe in attachments to objects. I do. I believe that not only spirit attachments, but energy can attach to objects. I think Annabelle is nothing more than a moneymaker. Look at the cases. She's been changed from case to case and nothing happened. So
I'm more in your camp, Olivia, because we did an entire podcast on that. And Chris, didn't we kind of drill down and get to the conclusion that the beginning of the Annabelle story with like the students and the progression of where the doll occupied and that home, the woman inherited or whatever, and like she found it, and then like I don't know, it just doesn't sit right with me. Yeah, so I'm with you on that. I think so too.
With me, and I was always really quiet to say anything, but this whole thing with the Annabelle, it took everything too far.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but anybody that's watching, if you really believe that it's like doing this to people, like I'm sorry, but you need help.
Yeah. You're gonna lose us half our base.
We have no filter here, so it's okay. Now you had to fucking bring up Annabelle because now I gotta ask the question.
Now I'm all wound up.
Yeah. Our consensus of that episode where we talked about Annabelle,
their own opinion, has their own opinion, but and think of it, everyone's having a fit about this Annabelle doll and this and that. Well, you know what? I don't understand why, because everyone's getting what they wanted. They want to investigate. Now Matt Rife and, Elton bought it. They're going to be able to investigate it. So I don't know why everyone is, so up in arms about this. Something that everyone complaining about wanting to do for 20 years. Now you have the chance, and,
Yeah.
freaking doll.
When we did have that episode, Dean, we kind of came to the consensus that initially there was probably something demonic that was using the doll to interface with those people, but afterward it kind of became like its own little circus show. And we
to the day
and the demon gave up.
Yeah, the demon gave up.
But
whatever. I
Whatever.
wanted to ask Tiffany and Olivia, what are your thoughts on the Warrens?
I can't say that I knew them personally because I did not, but there's a lot of movies made after their things. That's all I'll say.
Yeah,
I think it was the money.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I'm with you. I think there's a lot of charlatanness going on with that. Maybe it started off, honest, but it just got out of hand with, and then you dig into the details and it's just like, man, these people are clearly manipulators.
Yeah. I
don't know.
believe, any of it. But again, I want to go to that Warrens Museum. I would love to investigate.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong. You know what I mean? Prove me wrong. I would love to see that. And I would like to see, regardless of what I believe of, Ed and Lorraine, they are still a legacy in a sense. So just being able to there and
brought attention and
or they were right. Like that to me is still, that I want to do that. I don't have to, and again, I didn't know them, but I might.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything to say either that like not just because they did some shady stuff doesn't mean that they didn't acquire some truly attached things. So that's interesting, right? Like I wonder, because I don't think that they were full on, like they weren't like, let's start doing this and we're just going to scam everybody and be rich.
No,
I think that they believed in what they did, and I would be curious to see or know if they actually really did have experiences at one point or another that were just unexplainable.
Yeah, like the Conjuring house. Everyone wants to go to the Conjuring house, and it's the most haunted. And I know now it's obviously not open prior. We could have gone up to bed by midnight.
I fell asleep on the floor like 2 hours in.
Yeah, it's haunted in a sense that she has the Wi-Fi running through the whole house, so it trips off all your equipment, and then she.
Oh man.
Dad, it's going off. Yeah, so is the Wi-Fi blinking right there. Which that's too bad, and it was for the price of it ridiculous.
I've ever felt a place that felt so empty.
Okay. Yeah.
7 years ago, there was something there. I will say that there was something there. Now, no. The past how many years? So many groups go there and say we get nothing. That's why you hear people talk about it, but you never see the videos afterwards. That's why.
I see. That makes sense.
Yeah, the last question I have for y'all is, obviously when you're going through your investigations, you go to these different locations, you're capturing a lot of evidence. I'm sure with that evidence, there's things that are, just happen to be part of the environment. So what is your process when you review your evidence of debunking before you post them?
I think one thing that we do a lot, especially with like any like EVP type of things, if we think we hear something, we send a message out to every person that was there. Were you recording at the same time? Like, can you corroborate this information, or do you think that was you that sneezed in the other room?
Yeah. Because there is usually more than one recording before that reason. Because, we never used to record, and then we started recording, and then it's like, wait, we don't know if this happened. So now at least two people are usually recording. Just, like Tiffany said, for that reason, so we can go back.
Yeah. Yeah, I think as far as, looking through what we have, that probably about sums it up. I mean, there are some things that we're not really able to either confirm or debunk, and it's just a mystery.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Chris started doing when we first get to the location, he does a complete walkthrough with the camera to see where everything is, because we had one thing go flying once, and we had to figure out where it was, and thank God he had done that walkthrough, because we knew where it was before, and it was something that had gotten thrown, so that was cool. That did help a lot, because when we can go back and be like, wait, could that have been a shadow from a couch in that room, or a shadow from a bookshelf, and having that to be able to look.
Right. Yeah. We do a lot of debunking on the fly too.
Yeah.
So like
yeah.
as we're investigating before it even makes it to the camera roll.
Yeah. We'll usually
I love that. I love that.
Yeah,
because it just adds an extra degree of credibility to everything, and I think having that is important, because if you just start throwing stuff out there without offering up those, like you said, trying to debunk your own situation to the people who are watching, looking at your stuff, then but the fact that you're throwing that extra stuff in there, I think it makes a world of difference during an investigation. It makes it feel more real. And it makes it feel like you're actually trying to figure something out, that's awesome.
We all bring something different to the table, so which kind of just
balances each other out. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the perfect dynamic, and that's why I have my co-host with me. He's the perfect balance of skepticism.
Yeah,
so.
An asshole and
asshole. We're equally assholes to each other, so it's fair.
We cancel out. It's
We've been friends since like college, so yeah.
Have you guys ever done any paracons or anything?
No, but we would like to. We would like to get a table, set up, maybe get some swag and all that stuff, and have people come up and just be like, "Hey, share your ghost stories."
So we're doing one next year.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and
you want to pitch that real quick? Pitch that real quick for the for people to pick up on.
So June 6th, 2026 in Cripple Creek, Colorado. We are hosting a paracon at the Chamonix Casino Hotel. We have Adam Berry from Kindred Spirits, Ghost Hunters. We have Amy Bruni. We have Dustin Perry, Ghost Hunters. We have Stark Paranormal. We have author Richard Estap. We have like a really, really great lineup. We have kind of incorporated it throughout the town of Cripple Creek. It's an old historic mining town, and there's still active gold mines. It's just this amazing town. So we have investigations that are getting hosted at the jail. We have it's now a hotel, but it used to be the hospital for Cripple Creek, the St. Nicholas. We have like a VIP package for that, for overnight investigation there. You get to go down where normally you don't get to go, but we're getting special down at what used to be the morgue. So to investigate down there, it's just going to be a really great weekend.
That's
awesome.
Yeah, that sounds absolutely awesome. And we'll piggyback off of that and say, Tiffany, Olivia, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight. It was a really awesome conversation. We would love to have you back on and talk about more of your experiences at the Shanley, because I'm intrigued about this Adam character, and see what we can find out.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys so much.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. But before we end the show, why don't you share with the listeners of where they can find your content, where they can reach you if they want to go do investigations with you, and your social media presence?
Our business page, we do most of it through Facebook, is Are You Afraid of the Dark? Paranormal Events LLC. You can book tickets with us through that, through Eventbrite, and most of our evidence is on TikTok and YouTube. Under, oh gosh, I always mess up the YouTube. TikTok, Haunted AF, and actually each of our members has their own individual page on there for anything that they capture that might be different from what we capture. So that's pretty cool. YouTube is Haunted AF Paranormal, and we have quite a few videos on there. Like the road trip we mentioned and stuff from Wilson Castle, just a little of everything.
Yeah, we don't do YouTube as much, a lot of TikTok.
Yeah, we do. We put a lot of evidence on the TikToks.
Go give them a follow, reach out to them, go on some of their paranormal tours. And if you do, come on the show and share your experiences. Yay. But again, Tiffany, Olivia, thank you so much for coming on the show. And maybe one day Dean and I can join you guys on an investigation, which I think would be a fun time.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, folks, I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and thank you for tuning in. Thanks for tuning into today's episode of The Wandering Road. You can find us on Apple, Google, Spotify, and most podcast platforms. Be sure to subscribe and share. Also, don't forget to give a follow on Instagram at twroadpodcast and follow my TikTok at twrpodcast. Take care, and I'll catch you on the next one.